Hello and welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Lawrence Blackful Jr., and today we have our special guest with us today, and that is T5 Corporal Willie T. Hale. And we just want to introduce the world to T5 Corporal Willie T. Hale, someone that you should know. As we take a few moments to honor our military service men and women all over this country and around the world, as we prepare our hearts to celebrate Memorial Day and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, we're sitting today with a World War II veteran and a great historian. And so we want to introduce the world to Mr. Willie T. Hale and give you an opportunity to hear from him in his words and his voice a little bit about his history and about his service to our country. Once again, Mr. Willie T. Hale, thank you so much for being a part of this show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Mr. Hale, I want to take a moment to, I see you dressed in full uniform. Is this your World War II uniform?
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Wow. So what year were you serving in World War II?
1943. 1943.
In 1943 to 1945.
Yeah.
And when you were serving in the military, you were wearing that same uniform.
Wearing the same uniform.
That is amazing. That means that you were able to keep the weight down. You're looking good. You're wearing your uniform well. Again, I want to begin by thanking you so much for serving our country. I know that it is an honor. It is a privilege to live in this United States of America. And I want to say thank you to you and to all servicemen and women all over this country and around the world for the sacrifice you make every day to provide us the freedoms and the liberties that we share in this country. Mr. Hale, I want to spend a few moments. Tell me about your military service. When did you go into the military?
1943.
In 1943, you went into the military, and so you went right into the military and right into World War II?
Well, I went, after I take my basic training. I take my basic training in Camp Lee, Virginia. And my basic training was in Camp Ellis, Illinois.
Okay.
Camp Ellis, Illinois. From Camp Ellis, Illinois, I went to Camp Anza, California.
Okay.
And from there from Camp Anza to Honolulu, Hawaii.
Wow. And over what period of time did all of that happen?
That happened in about 8 months.
Wow. You went from basic training through all of those different camps and then to Honolulu, Hawaii, into World War II.
Spent 1 year and 1 week in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Wow, 1 year and 1 week. Tell us about that time, your experience in World War II. What were you doing? What was the atmosphere like? What was the environment like? What are your memories of that war?
I remember I had a beautiful time in Hawaii. I served there for 1 year and 1 week. And I was in the 536. I was with the 536 Salvage Repair Outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we from there, to Mariana Island.
Okay. Now, and you said you were there. You served in World War II from 43 to 45.
45.
When you came back to the United States of America, how were you received? How were you treated when you came back as a citizen?
We were treated kind of bad.
After serving in World War II, you come back to the United States of America, the country that you've been fighting for, and you get back to your country. Was there any honor of you all as soldiers? Was there any bonus pay or any housing provided? Any benefits that you received because you served in that war?
No, I didn't see nothing but my muscle not pay. That's all I received. I got a GI loan from a GI loan.
A loan. It wasn't a gift. It wasn't a grant. It was a loan.
Loan.
So you go and fight for your country.
I got a GI loan for my first house.
And they gave you a loan.
For my first house. I bought my first house. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. Wow. How do you feel about the way you and others who served with you, how you were treated by your country when you came back to America?
Well, we was treated better than when I left. We were treated better when I left. They had changed a lot of ways.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't treated too bad.
So when you come back and you have served, tell me about the times that you served overseas and the time that you spent. I know you said you spent some time overseas. Tell me about that. What would you like to tell us about your service overseas? Well,
my service overseas, the first island, after we left Hawaii, we went to Tiny Island.
Okay.
We had to get out. We unloaded out in the ocean. They didn't have no dock for a ship to go. We had to unload out in the ocean and brought to land by amphibious boat.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no roads, there was nothing there but cane patches.
Wow.
Yeah, when I first got to Tiny Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what was going through your mind when you all realized that there were no roads and that you were going to have to unload right out there in the middle of the ocean and have these amphibian boats come and get you and take you to shore?
I figured I wasn't going to get back home no more.
Wow.
It was, we pitched our tents out. We had Japanese running, tearing down the tents at night. We couldn't sleep. They was trying to get food.
Now, as we talk about your military service, there are a number of things that I want to spend some time with you talking about because there's a great deal of history, a great deal of information that I know, a treasure chest of information that you have. And so when you went overseas, you were how old?
I reached 19 when I was in. Camp Ellis, Illinois.
Okay, and so you went into the Army at what age?
18.
At 18. How long did you serve? When was it that you were discharged?
Discharged 1945. I served 3 years.
You served 3 years.
3 years in the Army, yeah.
All right, and received honorable discharge.
Honorable discharge.
Honorable discharge. Awesome. And so when you came home, were you married when you went into the Army?
No, March the 23rd, 1946.
1946. So you go into the Army 1943, you come back home in 1945. A year later, you're walking down the aisle saying, I do. Tell us about your wife. Tell us about that marriage.
Well, I had a beautiful wife. She's a beautiful wife.
What's her name?
Rosabelle Ward Hale.
Rosabelle Ward Hale. Yeah. Just for the record, you all, Rosabelle Ward Hale was my aunt, and this is my great uncle, Mr. Willie T. Hale. Amen. And so I'm just grateful to have this opportunity to interview you. So tell us more about how did you and Rosie meet?
We lived 55 years, a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
55 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where did you all meet at?
West Point. Well, we met in Aberdeen, Mississippi. We went to high school 1 year together.
In Aberdeen, Mississippi. Y'all was high school sweethearts?
Sweetheart for 1 year, yeah.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long for you to know that was the one.
That's the one.
And you all were married for how long?
55 years.
55 years.
Her mother picked me for her by the letters I wrote from overseas.
Is that right?
Her mother picked me for her son-in-law.
Wow.
The
wow.
letters I used to write, and she let her mother read all the letters I wrote.
Okay.
And she said, this is my son-in-law.
Wow. So you were writing Rosie while you were overseas,
Yeah.
and her mother was peeking in on the notes.
No, she let her mother
She let her
all
mom read all the notes.
Yeah.
And from those letters,
she said, "This is my son-in-law."
This is my son-in-law.
Yeah,
You must have been saying some good stuff in those letters.
Yeah, boy, I had never met my wife. I had never met my mother-in-law.
Is that right?
No, I didn't know her family.
So tell me, what were you saying in those letters? What did you say that caused your mother-in-law to say, hey?
Well, I wrote some beautiful letters.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You were saying all of that flowery stuff.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you all have children?
We had one daughter.
One daughter.
My daughter lived 3 days.
Okay.
And we never did have no more.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, tell me this. Tell me, you said you were born in Aberdeen, Mississippi.
Aberdeen, Mississippi.
Tell me about life in Aberdeen, Mississippi.
I had a beautiful life. I was a farmer. Mm-hmm. And I confessed religion at about age of 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. I confessed religion. And from there, I grew up, and my father bought me a car when I was 9 years old. I started driving at 9 years old.
9 years old. You started driving a car at 9 years old.
He bought me a car for my birthday present, 9 years old.
Wow. Wait a minute. And now back then they didn't have automatic transmission.
Yeah. No.
It was a stick.
From the floor, yeah, shift, yeah.
And at 9 years old, you learned how to drive that stick shift.
29 Model A Ford.
29 Model A Ford.
Yeah.
Where were you going at 9 years old in the car?
I used to go everywhere. I mean, after I learned how to drive, a friend of mine, he was about 5 years older than me. His father was in World War II.
Okay.
And bought him a car. Mm-hmm. And he was one of my best friends. He taught me how to drive at church.
Wow.
So showed me how to shift gears and everything. So when I got my car, I know how to shift gears. I was the youngest black man around that had a car.
Wow.
I was the youngest at 9 years old.
9 years old.
And when I was 10 years old, I could drive anything. Tractor, truck, I was driving everything at 10 years old.
At 10 years old. Wow. That's amazing.
And I was a barber. My uncle taught me how to cut hair at 10.
Yep.
And I was cutting hair ever since I was 10 years old.
Now, this is what is so amazing to me. You started cutting hair at 10 years old, and you're still cutting hair today.
Today.
How old are you, Mr. Willie T. Hale?
92. The 4th of July, I will be 93.
The 4th of July, you'll be 93 years old. You start cutting hair at 10 years old. That means that you will have been, in July, you will have been cutting hair for 83 years.
83 years.
Wow.
And I left here last year and drove 1,500 miles by myself.
And where did you go?
Mississippi, Canton, Mississippi.
You left here, Chicago, and drove to Canton, Mississippi.
And back. 1,500 miles.
By yourself?
By myself.
At 92 years old?
92 years old.
Wow. Wow.
I'm still driving.
What a blessing. What a blessing. You know, here's the thing. Now, I know everybody that's watching this interview, I know that many of you all are asking the same question that I'm about to ask. You're asking the question that's running through my mind. Mr. Willie T. Hale, how do you do it? What is it? Give us the secret to this energy, this preservation that you have. What is it that has kept you?
Well, I say I've been good. I've been a good kid. When people in Mississippi, I mean, they all knew me. They loved me because if I see somebody doing something, I would help them. Mm-hmm. They want to pay me. I said, no pay. I don't want no pay. Mm-hmm. They just want to give me something. If I see them doing something, I would just stop and help them.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where I've been all my life. I mean, I love to help people. And right today, I love to help people. Anything I can do for somebody, I do it.
Amen.
I love that.
Awesome.
God blessed me to do that.
God has blessed you to do that. And you say you got saved when you were 6 years old.
6 years old.
6 years old.
I was out in there. Down south. I was in the country.
Okay.
I was out in the wood praying. Mm-hmm. And here come a herd of cows. Mm. I didn't run. I was about 6 years old. I didn't run. If they had to run over me, I was still praying. Mm. But I didn't come over. I come off the motor's bench in church.
Wow.
And I never had that feeling before. I never had that feeling again. So look like I was light as a feather.
Wow.
And I never had that feeling, but I've been trying to get that feeling again.
Amen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love the Lord, and He loved me.
Amen. Amen. Tell us about that experience. At 6 years old, you're out in the field, and this herd of cattle coming.
I was down in the woods praying.
Oh, you were in the woods praying.
Praying.
And the herd of cattle came running.
I thought I heard them, but there wasn't no cows there.
It sounded like a herd of cattle.
Sound like a herd of cows.
Wow.
And they was coming, but I kept my eyes closed. And if they had ran over me, they just.
Wow. That was your experience
that
while you were praying.
Praying.
And that day, you gave your life to the Lord.
To the Lord.
Wow.
That night, I come off the mourner's bench.
That night, you came off the mourner's bench. Now, for those who don't know what the mourner's bench was, tell us about that.
We had a mourner's bench. We had revivals about a whole week. We had revivals going on a week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then it's about Thursday night. I think one Thursday night when I confessed religion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. When I came off the mourner's bench, when I knew anything, they had me in their own.
Wow.
I felt light as a feather. Looked like I was flying.
Wow. You had like almost an out-of-body experience.
Experience.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And you've been serving the Lord since.
Ever since.
Amen. Amen. Well, that explains why you have been preserved, why you are able to, after all of these years, having served in the military, served in World War II, and still able to wear and fit into the uniform that you wore while serving, while you learned to cut hair at 10 years old. Yeah. And I remember I heard you on the phone today say that before this interview, you had a client that you were cutting their hair.
You're right.
Wow. How many clients a week do you cut?
Well, I used to have. I couldn't count them.
Okay.
Yeah, I finished Union Barber College, and I put 1,248 hours in Union Barber College.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've been cutting hair. I was cutting hair all through the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hardly go on I couldn't hardly go on the pass. The guys they wouldn't go to the barber shop.
Wow. They were looking for you.
They're looking for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so now you're still cutting hair. So you cut maybe how many people a week now?
I got about 10 or 15. I cut
about 10 or 15 a week.
Yeah.
Awesome. And one of the things that I know about the barbershop is in the barbershop there's always good conversation.
Good conversation.
And so I can only imagine some of those conversations. Do you all get it? Do you all get into talking about the politics and everything?
We talk about the Bible. We talk about the Bible.
The Bible. You talk about it all.
I got preachers. I cut the hair. I got a pool table. We shoot pool. We enjoy shooting pool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had some boys come in and want to shoot for money. I said no. I didn't buy it to shoot for money.
That's it.
I enjoy my.
There you go.
Yeah, we enjoy each other.
You cut hair, you shoot pool,
yeah.
You talk about the Bible. Do you talk about politics at all?
We talk about politics sometimes. We talk about politics.
It's a lot of stuff going on in politics today. Yeah. So tell me, when you think about politics today and you look at what is happening in our country today, what would you say to those men and women who are serving in the military today? What advice would you give them?
Well, do the best you can and watch everything. Do the best you can and watch everything. That's the only advice I could. Yeah.
Do the best you can and watch everything.
Yeah. Watch everything. Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to talk. I want to go back to Aberdeen, Mississippi. Tell me about your parents.
I had a beautiful mother and father.
What was their names?
William Hale and Mary Lou Hale.
All right.
Mary Lou Hale Whitfield. She was a Whitfield.
Awesome.
Yeah, and my daddy, he was a Hale.
And what kind of work did Dad do?
He did. My dad was a working man. He worked at sawmill. They couldn't hardly wait for him to get out of the field. to go to the sawmill. There'd be somebody else trying to get him first.
Wow. So he would leave the field, working in the field, and then go work in the sawmill.
Work in the sawmill. And after I got up of age, I'd be working through the winter. I'd be everything. I made last year. My father was in Chicago here in '42, and I made the crop in '42. I made about 8 bales of cotton. By myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 17.
About 17 years old. You made 8 bales of cotton by yourself.
Yeah.
Because your dad...
He was in Chicago.
He had come up to Chicago.
Take care of his father, yeah.
There you go.
His father got sick up here. And
when did you come to Chicago?
In '45, when I got out of the Army.
When you got out the Army, you came to Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
And you've been here ever since.
Ever since.
Awesome. Tell me this. We talked about your parents. We talked about you being a barber. Tell me this. You mentioned how hard of a worker your dad was. What kind of work have you done in your life?
Well, I was a farmer. I farmed the biggest of my life. And since when I come to Chicago Heights, I worked at AMSCO for 34 years.
34 years at AMSCO.
AMSCO.
What did you do at AMSCO?
I was a grinding fitter for about I was a grinder for about 3 years.
Okay.
And from there I went bid on the job, and I was a switchman from 55 up until 60.
All right. And
in 60.
When did you leave?
I was a switchman from 55 up until 60.
Up until 60, you
and
were a
then,
switchman.
The old engineer, he retired, and I got to be engineer at 60.
Wow.
I was engineer from 60 until 80. That's when the shop closed down. I was locomotive engineer.
Locomotive engineer from 1960 to 1980 for 20 years.
I was operating crane, I was operating crane when I was a switchman. I was operating an outside crane, overhead crane.
Okay.
Yeah, I operated. That's why I was operating all crane and locomotive.
Wow. So you started driving at 10.
10.
Drive by the time you're 11. You're driving just about anything.
Tractor, truck,
everything.
Anything.
You move up to Chicago after serving in the military. You start working, and you're now operating overhead cranes.
No, not overhead. Outside cranes.
Outside.
Yeah, with the long boom.
The outside cranes.
Yeah.
You're operating locomotives.
Locomotive.
You're a locomotive.
I was a switchman.
Wow.
I was a switchman from 56 up until 60. I was a switchman.
You know what is amazing that I find in this is that you never mentioned that you had a college degree.
Well, I finished Uline Barber College.
You went to Barber College, but outside of your trade,
that's
you didn't have a degree from a university, but you knew how to do all these things.
God blessed me to have a trade, a gift.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And that should give folk hope that, we encourage our young people to go to college and get higher education, but we also want you to know that you can learn skills, you can learn trades, you can learn how to do some other things that will keep you viable. And just as you were able to remain employed and utilize the skills that you had, those skills opened up doors, opened up job opportunities for you.
Yeah, God blessed me to have gifts. Anything. I don't say what I can't do.
You never say what you can't
do. If somebody else do it, I do it as well as they do it. But long down the road, if I do it long enough, I'll catch on.
There you go.
I've never been hard to catch on to anybody.
Wow.
God give you a gift.
That's right.
And if all you got to do is just obey it, and then you don't say what you can't do.
That's right. That's right.
Because if somebody else do it, you can do it too.
That's some good wisdom. That's some great advice. Never say what you can't do. Always believe that whatever it is, you can do it. And if you apply yourself, you will be successful at it.
Yeah, everybody ain't got to have a college education.
That's right.
Yeah, but I got God bless me to have a good, well, I can think well and do well.
You got an awesome mind.
Awesome mind.
And you got a heart of gold.
Heart of gold.
And God has given you wisdom and blessed you to be able to do some
help
things.
People. And I love to help people.
Amen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell me, now that you're in Chicago and you got saved while you were in Aberdeen, Mississippi. What was your religious experience once you got to Chicago?
Well, I was after I got to Chicago, I joined St. Bethel, 1946. I was a usher for many years. Mm-hmm. In the old church, I hope and buy this church here. Mm-hmm. I work hard. I work hard to help them buy this church here. I work.
You worked hard to help them buy this church. Wow.
Yeah. I spent a lot of money helping buy this church here.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was a usher here for a while. Then I guess I got off the usher bowl. Uh-huh. But I still been a member of this church ever since I've been out of Chicago.
Since 1947.
1946.
No, 46. 1946. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I've been belong to St. Bethel since 1946.
Since 1946. That's longevity. That's commitment. That means you have seen a lot happen. Who was the pastor when you joined?
Reverend J.L. Jones.
Reverend J.L. Jones. That was before.
From Joel Jones up until you.
Right. Wow. Yeah. 6 pastors.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And you remained at your church.
At my church.
Through it all. That means through all the transitions, through all the different pastors, because every pastor is different when they come in. And so through all of those different personalities, different styles of leadership, you remained at the same church.
Same church.
Amen. That is a blessing. That is a blessing. You are still a resident of Chicago Heights. You've been here since 1946. And
December 31st, 1945.
Okay. New Year's Eve.
21st.
Oh, 21st, 1945. And so
December, yeah.
You have been here and a resident since that time. Tell me about your memories of Chicago Heights.
Chicago Heights used to be beautiful.
Used to be beautiful.
Beautiful. Chicago Heights was a beautiful town.
Wow.
Yeah, we had everything. Everything in Chicago Heights. People used to come in from everywhere to Chicago Heights.
Is that right?
If somebody leave, you could look for them a few months later. They're back.
Wow. Because they miss Chicago Heights.
They miss Chicago Heights. They didn't stay long.
Wow. So tell me about some of the things that was present in Chicago Heights during that time. What was, entertainment, business, restaurants?
Well, we had good restaurants. And the tire yard, they had people used to live down in the tire yard. They called it tire yard. That was out in South Chicago Heights. That tire yard. Okay. Yeah. It had. Oh, it used to be nice. They used to go be down there, and we had some of everything in Chicago Heights.
Wow.
Chicago Heights was a beautiful town.
Beautiful town. Awesome. And you're still here?
Still here.
How long have you lived at your current residence?
Since 1971.
Since 1971. You've been there. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And no plans to move?
No plans to move.
That's good stuff. Yeah. That's good stuff. I want to... Go ahead. In
the block I am, I was the first black moved in that block. They wouldn't sell to black people.
Is that right?
When I first moved here.
And what changed that made it possible for you to be able to purchase?
Well, I had Jackson Gray. The bank that I bought my first house, they wouldn't finance it for me.
Okay.
So Jackson Gray got me a finance company out of Chicago. He said, I'll get it for you. They didn't want to sell to me where I bought. So when I moved in, I didn't move. I had a moving van to move me in.
Okay.
They was out looking. They were looking when I moved in. I told them, I said, I didn't move here to bother nobody. I don't want nobody to bother me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been
Have
there.
you had any issues?
I ain't had no trouble.
No trouble.
When I first moved, they used to. Well, they used to. Police used to be there every 2 or 3 hours. They were coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. At nighttime, you didn't see no kids and nothing out on the street.
Wow. Wow.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, a couple years ago, there was, you were a part of a group that was on the honor flight to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience.
Beautiful, beautiful flight. I was the only one with dress. And I was the only one they didn't push in a wheelchair.
You were the only one not in a
They
wheelchair.
had to push me from when I got out when I left home to go.
Okay.
They had to push me from the street. And they pushed me inside, so I told, when they got ready to push, they pushed me to the plane too.
Okay.
Now after that, I told them, I said, I can walk.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I walked all through Washington, D.C.
Wow.
In my what you call it, or be with your, the push you in the wheelchair.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I was the only one they didn't push in a wheelchair.
Wow. You were in full uniform.
Full uniform.
And the only one out of your
That
group.
walked down and saluted when we got to our monument.
Yes.
Where we went to
The
see.
memorial. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was the only one walked down and saluted in all 1,000 of people.
Wow. Among, you got a sea of people.
Yeah.
And they're rolling in all of these World War II veterans to see the memorial that was erected in your memory and for your service, honoring the men and women that served in World War II. And you were able to not have to be rolled down. You were able to walk down the aisle.
And they held me out. They held me out. And my bus, the one that I was on the bus, he said, "You wait there. You gonna walk. You gonna march down in front."
Wow. So you led it.
I led it.
Wow.
The others, they were sitting down. They had me to march down, and when they.
How did that make you feel? To be able to, after all these years, and to know you served, and now here you are in Washington, D.C. They done made you feel like a king. They done put you on the plane, took you to D.C., and now you got all these people, and they want you to lead this procession. How did that make you feel?
I felt great.
Wow.
That was one of the best days I had in my life.
You haven't stopped talking about it since, have you?
I haven't stopped talking about it. That was one of the best days I had in my life.
Wow. I'm sure. I can just see the joy all over you to think, to serve your country and to come through all of the challenges that our country has faced over the years. And to, in 2015, have your country fly you out to Washington, D.C., allow you to lead this processional down and to salute at the memorial that was created in memory of you and those who have served with you in World War II.
Right.
That is amazing.
That was a blessing.
There are many who served with you who didn't have the opportunity to see the memorial. There are many who are still in this country, who are still alive that have not been. And so we do commend those who make it possible for our heroes to experience that honor flight trip to Washington, D.C., for the opportunity to visit the World War II memorial that serves as a memorial to their service, their bravery, their honor to our country. And so, again, we say thank you, and we salute you for serving our country. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, that you'd like to tell the world, that anything that comes to mind? If you had an opportunity to just talk about whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it.
Well, I love America, and I love what I did, And I left the Army with honor.
Amen.
Yeah.
You served your country.
Served my country, yeah.
And you left with honor.
With honor. And I appreciate it. I love that.
You love it. Amen. Yeah. And we love you for it.
Yeah, thank you.
We love you for it. Now, as your great nephew, I have had the privilege of watching you over the years. And when I look at growing up in public housing and having gone through a lot of the challenges that come with living in, even though we're in the suburbs, we still have the issues of urban populations. And but I had an opportunity to watch you live a life and a lifestyle. I used to look at you and Auntie Rosie, and I used to, as a little kid, I used to think of you as, I used to think you all were George and Wheezy Jefferson. because number one, you all were always sharp, you always dressed well, and when we came to your house, it was just amazing. The furniture was, I mean, this was some expensive stuff. This what you call that kind of furniture?
French prevention.
French prevention. I tell
my wife loved. She loved it.
Oh my goodness! All throughout the place, beautifully decorated. The carpet. It seemed like, man, the carpet seemed like your foot got lost in it.
Yeah. And I had a beautiful wife. When you come to our house, you was welcome. I mean,
that's right.
My wife would greet you. Come on in.
That's right. That's right.
She would greet you.
Everyone was always welcome.
Always
and you
welcome.
always kept a house full of people.
Whenever
people. Our family came in from out of town,
a lot of them would like
everybody came straight to Uncle T house.
They would rather sleep on my floor and they go to
a hotel
because they was welcome.
That's right. That's right. They were welcome, and it was always a great experience. And so everybody always ended up at Uncle T house.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
We love people.
Amen. Awesome.
Yeah.
You all love people. You knew how to treat. You knew how to entertain, and it was always a great experience when we came.
Experience.
Even now, going to your house, you still have these collages of photos on the wall of people, some that I don't even know, some of our family I don't know, but I mean, going back for years and years.
On the wall, you can come in there, a lot of kids, they want their picture, and some of them are grown, and now I don't know, but they still living.
That's right.
But their picture's still in my house.
That's right. I mean, hundreds of photos on that wall of individuals, like myself included, and others who are now parents, grandparents. Their kid photos are on that wall.
On that wall.
It's amazing. I laugh sometimes when I go in and I look at some of those photos and I say, wow, and now today I remember some of those faces and I'm looking like, wow, some of those folk are no longer with us. Many of them still are. Yep. But it is always intriguing when I come to your house and see those photos on the wall.
Yeah.
Wow. This is great. When you think about the world that we live in today, how different and how different is our world today than it was when you were coming up?
Well, when I was coming up, people loved each other.
Okay.
Today, it done changed the world. The world ain't changed, but people's changed.
Right.
Yeah, the world ain't changed, but it ain't like it was when we came up. We respected people, and people, kids respected parents, and parents, they were parents, and they were people. Kids respected.
That's right.
Yeah. Older kids respected the young kids respected the older kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it's just a big difference. They have changed.
Respect. I hear that word oftentimes used when we refer to this generation. And not just this generation, but our society today. compared to days of old, there is this continual theme of respect.
Respect.
Back then,
Yeah.
folk respected
each other.
Respected each other's property, respected each other's space.
Right.
And now, a lot of that respect is not shown, it's not experienced the same way.
Not the same. When I was in Mississippi, we leave our door. Wasn't nobody going in the house. Wasn't nobody going in the house. People, well, a quarter of a mile away, when they get up in the morning, you see they wave a hand at you.
Yes.
Glad to see you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now you have neighbors
right
next door
to you, and you don't even know 'em.
That's it.
That's bad.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. What advice would you have for this generation?
Well, this generation, I would tell the younger people, respect your parents, respect older people.
Yes.
Yeah, when you give respect, you will look for, when you give respect, you'll get respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. You give respect.
It's a common principle.
Principle.
It's simple. It's easy.
Easy.
What do you think is the reason that for the lack of respect today? What do you think is the cause of that?
Well, when people can't discipline their own kids, that's when they cut out discipline their own kids. That's what happened. You can't discipline your own kid. You go to jail and you done fed them and everything else, but you'll go to jail if you give them a spanking. You ain't gonna kill your kid.
Right.
No, ain't nobody gonna kill the kid. But you can't let your kid run over you, and you gonna clothe them and feed them, and you can't gonna let them run over you in your house, and you gotta. That's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad
when you can't
discipline
your own kid. I think that is something that's part of the challenge is the lack of respect for authority starts at home.
At home.
And so when we talk about respect and we talk about discipline, when you honor your mother and father, when you have respect at home, in most cases, that respect translates into the world you live in. It translates to you having respect for the teacher, for the principal, for Miss Johnson down the road, Miss Alexander next door, and others.
You respect. Yeah.
You have respect. And I remember growing up, my grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, we called folk Mr. and Mrs. It didn't matter who they were or how they behaved. Everyone was Mr.
and Mrs.
Everybody.
Right,
and so I can recall growing up down in Clark Court, we had Miss Essie, Miss Johnson, Miss Lena Mae, Miss Mabel. We had Miss Kate, and Mr. Charlie, and Miss Rosalie, and Miss Robinson. It was always Miss and Mr. Mr. JD.
Yeah, right.
But today,
they'll call you, they walk right by you, won't speak to you, and they'll cuss you out if you say something to them.
You know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that, because not only does that happen in the world, but I observe that right here in the church.
In the street, that's right.
In the church. I have young folk that will walk right past and walk into a room and won't open their mouth to say hello.
Won't say hello. And that's easy.
In the church.
That's easy. It's more easy to say hello than it is not to say hello.
It takes effort to not speak, don't it? It takes. You have to intentionally not speak.
Not speak. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I raised my kids the way that I was raised, and so even today, my children know to respect their elders. They know to say Mr. and Mrs. Even, just courtesy. I teach my sons not just by what I say, but by what I do, and that is open it. You see a lady coming, hold the door.
Hold the door. Hold the door.
My wife, my daughter know that when they're with me and when they're with our sons, that they don't touch a door.
Don't touch the door. Yeah.
All they do is walk up to the door and they stop.
They stop.
Because they know we're going to open that door because
door.
That's the right thing to do.
That's the right thing to do.
Chivalry isn't dead, but many have no clue what chivalry is.
Just have respect. That's all. That's
respect.
Respect. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That don't hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you went to when you were in school, did you play any sports or anything?
Basketball. Basketball was my heart.
That was your heart?
I could play basketball.
Is that right?
From a little bit of something. I was about the smallest thing in my class, but when I get
little
past half goal, I could shoot that ball. He holler too.
Is that right?
It wasn't but two. It wasn't no three. Then.
It wasn't no 3-pointer, but
I get a little past half court, I go up in there.
That's it.
That's it.
You letting it go.
I had some friends of mine met up here in Chicago. They said Willie. They told him when Willie get half past court, said he go in there. Everybody holler two.
Two, because they know it's gonna count.
They know it's gonna.
Excellent. Excellent. Wow. So we got the NBA Finals coming up.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we still have the Eastern Conference semifinals with the Cavaliers and who are they playing right now? Boston. Right. Boston. So I got a good feeling that it'll be the Cavaliers and the Warriors in the finals.
In the final.
Who you think gonna take that series?
Well, I believe James is gonna come back.
There you go. Look, LeBron James is a, there's debate over whether he's the greatest of all time and the best to ever play the game. Many who compare him to Michael Jordan. I know you remember the Jordan era and the championships that Michael Jordan brought.
I got most of all their tapes.
You got mostly all their
tapes, yeah.
And so when you think about the Michael Jordan of the 90s and the LeBron James of today, who would you say is the best player?
Well, I would go with Michael Jordan.
There you go. All right.
He was a great player.
From Chicago, we have to go with Mike. Chicago, you can't be from Chicago and not believe that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
I've seen him do some things with a basketball.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've seen him go up in there and change hands.
That's right. Right. And never quit.
Never quit.
Always gave 100%.
He was a leader.
He was definitely a leader. Come out of, out on the court playing with the flu.
He was a leader.
No doubt about it. And as a result, has championship rings, 6 championship rings, right, to prove it. And so it's always great to talk about sports as we look at what's happening in Chicago in sports today. What do you think about the Cubs and them winning the World Series last year?
I was happy. I was happy to see him. I've been with the Cubs a long time. I was happy to see him win.
How did that make you feel when they won the World Series and you hear everybody hollering and screaming, the Cubs have won the World Series? How did that make you feel?
It made me feel good. I was hollering too.
Is that right?
I was hollering too. Yeah, I've been a Cubs fan for a long time. But I never been to the Cubs Park, but I've been to White Sox Park.
Is that right? You've never been to Wrigley Field?
Never been to Wrigley Field. I used to drive a bus when I was driving the bus. I used to
drive people to Wrigley Field, but you've never been in.
Never been in.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna take you to Wrigley Field.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you to Wrigley Field this year.
Okay.
We're gonna get you to Wrigley Field.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Willie T. Hale, it is great having you on our show today. It's great having this conversation with you. You have really shared a great deal of wealth and experience and just your excitement about serving our country and the experiences that you've had and the person that you are I just want you to know that you are valued, you are appreciated. I'm glad not only to know you, I'm glad that you are my great uncle. I'm glad to be able to say, amen.
Yeah,
And I'm just glad to be able to have this time with you.
Yeah. I got 3 nephews, pastors.
3 nephews that are
Pastors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You are a blessed man.
Yeah.
You are, and I feel extra special
Yeah.
because I get to pastor you.
You special.
I have 2 more cousins that are pastors,
Yeah.
but I get to pastor my Uncle Willie T,
That's-
World War II veteran. Thank you so much for being on today's show.
You are welcome.